Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Must draft wide receivers. I'm going to go through 5 of them that I like in a bunch of different rounds from 1 through 10 on this video, hoping to help you make some good decisions in your draft. If you have receivers on your list that I don't mention, drop me a comment down below and tell me who you like for your drafts. Who's the wide receivers you are not leaving your drafts with, whether you're drafting on Underdog or DraftKings or your friends and family league? Who are your favorites? I'm going to tell you my 5 right now.
He's a legend.
Before I get into it, guys, I just wanted to say that we are running a free promo with Rotowire.com. Go check out all of the stuff over at Rotowire.com. In the pinned comment down below, I'm going to have a link for you to use, Rotowire.com/smizzle. You can use all of their tools. If you go through that link, you sign up, you get a 10-day free trial to look at everything that they have, all the different sports. I'm going to be using their ADP tracker that they have on their site, something I love to use a lot, actually, because of how much information they have kind of on a one sheet, right? It's real easy. You can sort by position, as I'm doing for this wide receiver video. And it shows you, I'm going to use the PPR since you use the half PPR for the running backs video. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out too. You can see players that are trending upward, players that are trending downward, and depending on whether it's a 10-team league, a 12-team league, whether it's my fantasy league, NFFC, Underdog, DraftKings, whatever, you get all the different ADPs for all the different sites sorted as efficiently as you possibly can. So go give them a look if you wanted to help out the channel. Cost you absolutely nothing. I can't do better than free, guys. I'm sorry. First wide receiver on my list. Number 1 on this list of 5 today is going to be AJ Brown, the grown-ass man, coming in at a second round ADP of 20.1 on Underdog Fantasy. That's where he's at. That's where he's being drafted. I believe that it's a little bit lower on some sites, maybe a little bit higher on others, depending on the scoring on those sites. Now, I'm sure that there's going to be some resistance to this pick because, you know, Al, they signed Julio Jones. Yeah, I did know that. You know what? I kind of keep up with the news here and there. Every now and again, I pick something up. Somebody says, hey, look, this guy got traded. Oh, cool. I think it's very simple. The Tennessee Titans are going to score a lot of touchdowns. I say that because the Tennessee Titans have scored a lot of touchdowns in all of the games that Tannehill has been the quarterback. They've been a very efficient offense, racking up points on the ground and through the air very efficiently. Efficiency is the biggest predictor of passing touchdowns, not necessarily volume, but when both hit the road, you get things that just fly off the charts. We'll get to that in a little bit. AJ Brown last season, we're going to take a look over here at NFLsavant.com. We're going to take a look at their, I love the viz that they have for this. This is all the targets that they had last year. Pretty straightforward and simple. That you can take a look and see that last year AJ Brown had 111 targets. But Al, Julio Jones there now. He could see less targets. Corey Davis is not there anymore. Jonnu Smith is not there anymore. Maybe Ferkser steps into some work. Adam Humphries, not there anymore. That is 35 vacated targets. That is 65 vacated targets. That is 97 vacated targets. 23%, 23.5% of that target market share went to AJ Brown last year. I don't see that really declining. I believe that you're probably going to see between 22 and 27% of the target market share go to both AJ Brown and Julio Jones in that offense. They are going to be the primary beneficiaries through the air of all of Ryan Tannehill's play action plays. Yes, they're going to run the ball with Derrick Henry too, but this is a 3-headed monster, and I believe that with all the touchdowns they score, 75% of them are going to be to that trio. And that's a good slice of that pie to have. So I'm going after AJ Brown at his current ADP, like I said on Underdog, which is 20.1, as the wide receiver 7. The second wide receiver on my list, I've been all over this Cowboys offense. This is the second season. Yes, they're on Hard Knocks. Yes, Dak Prescott. If Dak Prescott with this second MRI that he just went back for and that mystery second surgery on his leg that he went for, he's got an MRI on his shoulder now, because apparently you just get MRIs for fun. No, there's nothing wrong, guys. Did you see that tweet from the Cowboys? Guys, not to alarm you, there's nothing wrong. Everything's fine. Dak Prescott's going in for an MRI again. Really? Okay, so I'm assuming that Dak Prescott's fine. I'm hoping that Dak Prescott's fine. If he's not, that changes my view on CeeDee Lamb. But as we sit right now, expecting that is just tired arm with him through preseason after taking a bunch of months off, that he's going to be fine. If Dak is there, I am sky high on CeeDee Lamb. His ADP has risen a ton recently, right now sitting at an ADP of 24.5, so he still qualifies as a third round pick, but he is reaching into the back end of the second round a lot, where like, you know, the 10, 11, 12th picks in the second round is where he's been going. The wide receiver 9 off the board. If you have the number 1 pick, and the number 1 and number 2 picks are extremely overpowered this year with CMC, with Dalvin Cook, you come back in rounds 2 and 3 and you nab AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb as your 2-3 picks. I think that you are loving life right now with as much as he is, I project he is going to produce. There are 3 wide receivers who should garner most of the targets this year. And granted, this is with like 6 weeks of Dak and then 10 weeks of poop for the rest of the season. These targets would have been a lot higher as that offense hums with Dak at quarterback. So projecting like 120 to 150 targets for 2 of these 3 guys, Cooper and Lamb, and with Cooper coming off the injury that he was coming off of, maybe Lamb takes that starting job. Not the starting job, they're all starting. But that primary receiver role with Cooper maybe recovering the first few weeks of the season. And the benefit of CeeDee Lamb not only working from the slot this year, but they're going to move him outside. And we've seen absolutely nothing but highlight videos from camp from CeeDee Lamb every single day. And it's very possible that if he does have a big game in the preseason or continues to produce in practice, that he's going to see that HBO bump, that Hard Knocks bump. So the chances to get him in the early to mid 3rd round could be disappearing quickly. He's going to be a fast mover as the preseason moves on. Deontay Johnson is my next one. I know this one's going to make you guys mad, but Deontay Johnson is going in the 5th round of drafts. Now, this is a little bit more PPR specific to me. On Underdog, I'm more likely to take guys with maybe a little more touchdown upside than Deontay Johnson. And on PPR leagues, I'm more likely to go after Deontay Johnson, like in full. So specifically DraftKings centric with their best ball, really interested in Deontay Johnson in the mid to late 5th round. 48.9, 24th wide receiver off the board. Had some injury problems last year. Al, he drops the ball. I don't care. He gets open. If you get open, they're going to throw you the football, and they're going to throw it to you a lot. 16 targets, 14 targets, 13 targets, 12, 13, 16, 11, 10. This is absolute PPR gold. Looking at last year, 3 guys got the majority of the targets. Deontay was down because of those games where he would get injured. Spoiler alert. Here against Baltimore, we had 3 targets. Philly, he had 1. Houston, he had 2. So those games where he did not see as many targets because he left early with injury, totally different situation, and would have propped him up probably if you can factor in another 20 to 25 targets here. That moves him up into that 130 to 135 range. You're talking about 20% market share targets between a 3-headed monster at wide receiver. Absolute PPR gold in best ball, and just going way too cheap with the amount of floor and upside he has in full PPR, especially with bonuses like in DraftKings scoring. The spoiler alert's LaVisca, somebody else who could definitely take over the number 1 target role, the highest target market share for Jacksonville in an offense that's trending massively upward. When you have better QB play, and no disrespect to Minshew's mustache or his hair or his Twitter presence, the guy is an absolute legend in terms of being a meme lord, but like in terms of actually being a good producing quarterback and an efficient quarterback, give me J-Law all day. And with as good as LaVisca has looked through OTAs and offseason, yeah, DJ Chark returns. Keelan Cole vacates 93 targets. Some of those at least are going to be taken up by MJJ, who's stepping in here. But I would not be shocked to see LaVisca bounce to like something like 115 to 125 targets this season and lead this team in terms of the market share at targets with an increasingly efficient offense headed up by their number 1 pick, Lawrence. Mooney is my last pick for you FIFA fans. Rooney has now become Mooney. Going with an ADP of 91 right now, and it's gone up since the Anthony Miller trade. He's going in the 8th or 9th round, depending on the site that you're drafting on, as the wide receiver 47. By the way, I did not give you the numbers on LaVisca. LaVisca is going in the 7th round, ADP of 73.1, and the 36th wide receiver off the board. I think that you can do a lot worse at that range as the back end wide receiver 3 or a high end wide receiver 4 But taking a look at Darnell Mooney as a low-end wide receiver 4, high-end wide receiver 5, big upside here, considering how many targets he got last year, 99, 17% of the target market share. I don't think Chicago is going to pass the ball as much this year. They threw it over 600 times, one of like 5 teams in the league, don't fact check me, that threw it over 600 times in total. So no, there aren't going to be as many attempts, but 73 of them are gone. Cole Kmet gonna move up in targets, and I think that it's basically gonna be these 3 guys that benefit. It's going to be Allen Robinson, it's going to be Darnell Mooney, it's going to be Kmet. I'm a little hesitant about Robinson because of the price that he's going to cost you, plus the decrease in expected throws. I'm expecting Fields to take the job at some point, sooner rather than later. And if he takes the job, they're probably going to be a very, 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 very run-heavy offense that might throw it like 25 times a game. So when you talk about 25% of, if he maintains his target market share from last year, 25% of 25 is not high, 6.25. So like that's not enough. But Darnell Mooney at his price point, I'm not going to pay a 2nd-round pick for Allen Robinson. God bless if they throw it 35 times a game. That would be great for Allen Robinson, and I would be wrong. But Darnell Mooney going in the 9th and 10th rounds right now. He may be sneaking up into the 8th, depending on what site you're drafting at. Provides you with a chance for upside and target growth, regardless of whether they throw the ball less than they did last year. That's going to do it for today's video. I appreciate you guys being here. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Every comment that you leave down below always helps the channel. So be sure that you leave a comment, click that thumbs up, and I'll see you with the next video. Bye.
He's a legend.